I've seen a lot of commentary over the time where people are complaining about extremely high wax prices on hobby boxes and to a lesser degree even retail. And I've seen a really interesting response um, more than once. And it goes something like this. You're too poor to collect the way that you used to. That's why you're mad. So I started thinking about this. I'm just like, I've complained about wax prices. Am I too poor to collect the way that I used to? I got 5 points to address this particular topic, and here we go. 1, I've learned that some sites that I used to spend a lot of time on, basically like commenting and learning more about cards, sharing cards, communicating with fellow collectors, I unfortunately have found that a lot of those sites have really fallen off. And there's a couple reasons why they've fallen off. One, there's just a ton of negativity, and it's nonstop bickering, and it's arguing about stuff that's never going to be resolved regardless, and it's just like nastiness back and forth. And I've really found that it's come down to 2 things. One, in many cases, people get goaded into these types of conversations by people who are just acting. There are people out there that spend an inordinate amount of time on online sites with, I guess, just the primary objective just to stir the pot and get people upset. It is super weird. But I'll also tell you this is the second thing that I've learned and really, come to really realize is kind of a concrete fact, in my opinion at least. It's a fact to me. People that have these types of weird behaviors and make all of these weird comments just to stir the pot and to try to rile people up, they don't get any less weird. So you got to make a choice. Are you going to waste time engaging with people who are intentionally trying to engage with you negatively? Are you just going to move on and do something else? I rarely go on a lot of these sites now because it's become less about cards and it's become more about individuals. And sites at times they can ban people, they can suspend people, they can do whatever, or not. It's their site. So take it for what it is. But those are 2 things I've learned for sure. 2, I think that people that complain about hobby box prices have every right to. I'll give you an example. Back in 2018, Hoops, historically, when Topps didn't have a license, Hoops was kind of like basketball's Topps. I think a lot of people would make that comparison in that it was just an affordable, mass-produced product that was readily available. Hobby boxes back in 2018 hovered around $100, maybe slightly more, maybe slightly less. I wasn't buying Hoops boxes back then when they were $100. And it wasn't that I didn't have the money. It's just that, Luka was my favorite player out of that class pretty much out of the gate. And I was buying Luka rookies for, I don't know, anywhere from $5 to $10 a piece. So I just looked at it like, why am I going to spend $100 and $120? I can get 20 Luka rookies for $100. So it just really wasn't my thing. I've never been huge into wax anyway. But it wasn't about money. It was about knowing that most hobby boxes aren't going to give you the type of ROI that would make you want to come back and buy more boxes, put it that way. I know some people do it for a living. I know there's some products where people can crack them and they can make money. And I know people get the big hits. And I know people just like to rip. But I view it as if you like to rip, it's more of just an entertainment thing versus an expectation of ROI. I noticed this year with 2026 Hoops, at release, I saw prices around in that $400 to $500 range for Hoops. Now, of course, there's a difference between hobby and jumbos and stuff like that, but $400 to $500 plus for Hoops. Now, I did do a little bit of research and saw that they kind of settled in, in that 220, 240, at least for hobby, more, of course, for jumbos. So just to recap this now. If somebody points this out, that these hobby boxes are way too expensive, it's because they're too poor to collect the way they used to, or because they realize that these boxes are way overpriced. Like, the juice is not worth the squeeze. Think about that for a second. Number 3, there's always been high end that's out of reach. Either where people literally couldn't afford it, or it's just an opportunity cost thing. Let me give you an example. When I bought my PSA 8 Jordan rookie, I paid about $525 for it. I was really bummed. I wanted a BGS 8. BGS back then, in my opinion at least, was king. I paid $525. BGS 8s were selling for about $600. I remember I was bummed. But you know what? I got my Jordan rookie. I didn't want the PSA. Long term, of course, that worked out pretty well to get the PSA over the BGS, of course. Again, I have not been living under a rock. But I remember 9s were about $1,000 when I bought mine. That $1,000 card at that snapshot in time was out of reach for me. And instead of it being out of reach because I was poor, it was out of reach because it was an opportunity cost type of thing. I was doing other things. I was investing, I had bills, I had all the other adult stuff, right? Own a house, all that kind of stuff. So the only difference really today to me is that out of reach, the numbers behind being out of reach are much higher today. That's the only difference. If $1,000 seemed out of reach at that particular snapshot in time, well, $50,000 is out of reach today. Is it literally out of reach for a lot of people to be able to buy it? Maybe, maybe not. But opportunity cost wise, there's a lot of people that are just not going to spend even $5,000 on a card, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, whatever. And in a lot of cases, it's not because they don't have it, it's because that's a lot of money to spend on a card. And I know some people argue that a hand-drawn picture of a rabbit or a cat of some sort, just because it's in a PSA 10 label, is somehow worth tens of thousands of dollars because there aren't a lot of them. Hey man, all power to you. That very well could work out for you, or not. We'll see. But that's not my thing. And for a lot of us, it isn't. We just don't see the value in that. So it's something to think about. Like, there's always been high end that's out of reach. I don't get upset when I watch people pulling cool stuff. I actually watch some of these YouTube videos of like retail pulls and hobby pulls and stuff like that. I enjoy watching some of those. All power to them. Just not something I'm really into. 4, singles have always been the way for me. They always have. I don't do breaks. So I enjoy pointing out the fact that breaks are a big reason why wax prices are what they are, because breaks are a big reason why. People can still debate it if you want to, it's fine, but they are a big reason why wax prices are so much higher. And therefore I don't do breaks. Some people talk, some people do. It's easy to talk and criticize something or be against something. It's another thing to do your actions actually match what you're saying. I don't do breaks because I don't agree with what breaks have done to the prices of wax. Even though I didn't tend to buy a lot of wax, it has priced a lot of people out. Whether they can't afford it or whether they just don't want to. Like, there's a lot of people that don't want to drop $300 on a box of hoops that would like to crack a box. So I don't do breaks. At the same time, though, I have a buddy of mine that's a Detroit Tigers fan. Loves the Tigers. Collects mainly Tigers. Not exclusively, but mainly. Breaks make a lot of sense for him. He's getting the team he wants. He collects that team. Prospects, vets, numbered, parallels, all this stuff. It works great for him. I'm not going to sit here and tell him and be critical about breaks. Like, that's just weird. Like, why would I point that out and start ripping on breaks when I know he enjoys doing it? People collect in different ways. I think it's so weird that people feel inclined to comment on just really any positivity that people have about cards. Somebody's got to go in there and just drop some weird comments. It's so weird. But I don't do breaks for that reason. I'm kind of a believer in, you vote with your wallet. And breaks aren't something that I believe in, and so I don't do them. If you do them and it works for you as far as you're collecting and you enjoy doing them, that's great. I'm not going to sit here and make weird comments about it, because you should get enjoyment out of this hobby. And sometimes you kind of wonder with people that are stirring the pot on purpose, are they just really unhappy in the hobby in general? They must be. And so they just want other people to be unhappy, I guess, about it. I don't know. It's really strange. They get some sort of strange enjoyment about people being upset, I guess. Last one, number 5. I view it this way too. So I'm not buying hobby boxes for ridiculous amounts of money. It's not just hoops. I'm not paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for Topps boxes. I'm just not going to do it. I can afford to do so. I go out and buy a $500 box today, has zero impact on my life. But I'm not going to do it. Because $500, I can buy a lot of types of cards that I buy. I mean, check out these Ohtanis that I've been picking up. These cards range from $6 to $14 to $70. They're great cards. This is how I like to collect. Now, with that said, my last point, if it's non-Pokemon, retail is pretty much readily available. I see retail at the store all the time. During COVID, I couldn't find any retail sports cards, but Pokemon was everywhere. Now, I can't find any Pokemon even if I wanted it, which I don't collect Pokemon, but sports cards are everywhere. I've seen the same stack of Prism football blasters for I couldn't tell you how many times. WNBA Prism Megas. A lot of Bowman basketball, blasters, megas, hoops, hangers, hoops, blasters. I see them all the time. If I get the itch to break, I'll just buy some retail. It's usually what I bought in the past anyway, because I thought the ROI was kind of crappy back then, like in 2018 and earlier. I thought it was kind of bad back then. I can't even imagine now. I do understand, though, that the entertainment value is something with cards, that people do get enjoyment of cracking packs and are willing to pay the price in part because of that. Makes sense to me. I'll close with this. I think we're really in the golden age of collecting. I think there's so many different ways to collect that we're really in a good place. I don't agree with group breaks. I don't agree with the prices of wax being crazy. But man, I just buy singles. I'm gonna go to the National this year. It's gonna be a blast. I'm gonna see a bunch of my friends. I'm gonna travel with my crew. It's gonna be awesome. And we're gonna have a ball. We're gonna find all kinds of singles. Another thing I see once in a while is, well, I don't go to shows because I'm not gonna find anything I'm looking for. Okay, it's great. Thank you for sharing, I guess. I thank you for telling us that. But what's the point in posting about shows if you're not going? I don't understand that. So you don't like going to shows, so you have to post negatively about shows. Sounds like some of these people should start running a show and they should show people how it's done. That'd be an idea. But we're in a golden age, guys. There's a lot of different ways to collect. There's a lot of affordable ways. I gave you my examples of Ohtani. There's so many different cool inserts. There's so many cool inserts of Kobe Bryant from the late 90s, early 2000s. I've showed you some of those before, but take a look at some of these inserts. I mean, they're really affordable. You know, they're anywhere from $10 to 60, $100. I mean, it's just great. I'm going to close with one other thing too. In the light of the finals, which, man, Spurs. Come on, man. I really enjoy watching the Spurs. Actually, I was rooting for them. Oh, boy, game 4. That was a tough one. They'll be back though, and you guys still got Saturday. 3-1s happened once. It's pretty tough though. But we're in a golden age of NBA basketball now too. In my opinion, the level of skill and the talent in the NBA has never been higher at any stage in time. A lot of people don't watch the NBA for reasons that have nothing to do with basketball, which is their prerogative. If that's what they want to do, go for it. But to say that the level of skill and athleticism and talent in the NBA is bad couldn't be further from the truth. I played a lot of basketball in my life. I've coached a lot of basketball. I've watched, of course, a ton of basketball. The NBA, in my opinion, has never been better. And a lot of it is because of the influx of Europeans on top of a lot of other international talent combined with U.S. talent. It's incredible. So people can choose to not watch it for non-basketball reasons. Totally get it. People can give their opinions on whatever they want. Sometimes, though, you just have to question in general. Just because you have the ability and the right to give an opinion, should you? I'll close there. Hope you guys are having a great day. Good luck out there collecting, and I'll see you in the next one.